Adult Talk, a podcast by AdultWork.
Hello, everybody, and welcome one more time here to our beautiful podcast. Today, we have a very, very special guest with us today. But before that, I am here with Aurora Bell. How are you doing today, darling?
Hello, guys. Yeah, I'm doing great. I can't wait for today's episode.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Today, we have here is an adult content creator, webcam model, Scottish Ivy. How are you, darling? Thanks for joining us on the podcast. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm very well, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been on adult industry?
Okay, so I have been on AdultWork now. It will be 12 years in December. So, yeah, quite a long time. That was my first
Okay, so 12
putting into the industry.
So 12 years that you are in the industry or 12 years that you are on AdultWork?
12 years that I was on AdultWork. Prior to that, I had a profession. And prior to that, I was a lap dancer. So, yeah, it's kind of my first footing into the industry as such.
Okay, and if you take us a little bit before you even started within the adult industry, what did you do before that? What was your interest? Did you work somewhere else? What did you do before that?
Yeah. So before that, I was a lap dancer for 8 years. While I put myself through university. So I studied law at university. And then once I graduated, I worked as a criminal defence lawyer for 2 years.
Wow, amazing. And when did it click to you, the adult industry, and how did you learn about it and how you got interested to start? How was that process for you?
Well, yeah, so I had bizarrely gone a date. At a point in my life, I'd gone on a date with a man who'd gone on a date with a girl previous who was on AdultWork. He didn't really know much about it, and she told him all about it. We didn't want to see each other anymore just because they didn't really click. But when we got together, he was telling me about it, and I didn't know anything about AdultWork. So I was quite intrigued. I made him show me her profile. At that point in my life, I was also unhappy where I was working in the law firm. I just had a little boy. And I think it's very, very difficult to be able to be a mum and have a career at the same time. I mean, I was working 60 plus hours a week. You're still having to do things at the weekend. The office was an hour and a half from where I lived. So for about the first year and a half of my son's life, he didn't know who I was. He couldn't see mum. Everyone else was raising him. And it just came to a point where I didn't want that life anymore. I wanted to be able to raise my son. So after the person who showed me the website, and I set up my own AdultWork profile. I literally set it up that night. That was 12 years ago, and it was the best decision I've ever made.
You became your own boss. You gain your freedom, right?
Absolutely. For me, time off is so important. When you work in an office and they tell you can only take 4 weeks holiday a year, like I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to do with 4 weeks holiday a year. Like we go away so often, we spend so much time, and having someone tell you when you can and can't take time off, that's not a life for me.
And then you went full time on the adult industry, or you were parallel until you feel, or you gave one job and got into the other one?
Nope, I literally set my, like for instance on the Monday, set the adult profile work up on the Monday, handed in my notice on the Tuesday, left on the Friday. That was it.
Like a couple of days you already changed career. Amazing.
That was it.
Do you remember the first day that you streamed? Like you did a webcam show, for example?
I actually do, because it was really strange. So I'd put up all my videos and pictures, and that's obviously how we make some of our money, is on the videos and pictures, and that's great. And then I got an email on the AdultWork platform, and it was a man from America. And he's like, can you come on, do a webcam show? And I was like, oh, just kind of figuring it all out, but okay. He's like, it's really easy. And I was like, right, okay, give me half an hour, I'll set it up. And half an hour later, I had it set up, and I was doing this direct cam show with a client who was in America. And I think he must have spent about £300 or £400 just my very first, that's how lucky I got on the very first one. He came in and spent ages, £400, and talked me through everything, which was really bizarre. So wow. Yeah, I landed quite lucky.
So I guess that first good experience you had reinforced the idea I did the best, like you did the best choice, right? The best change.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was always going to take a little bit of time for me to make sure that I'd done the right thing, but there was no going back, because the lifestyle that I have now is just uncomparable to me having to be in an office and dancing to someone else's tune. That's just not a life for me. So I don't know how many times in the past 12 years I've gone back and said I'm actually really fortunate that it all fell into place the way it did. It was like kind of just the stars aligning, and it really was the best decision I've ever made. I am incredibly lucky.
So you gain the freedom of choose when to work, right? To stay to work from home on your own safe environment. You can be in your bed,
absolutely,
from wherever you like. On top of that is money, right? You don't need to just, I always ask this to the models as well. You don't need to disclose your financials, but you make good money, right? Or models in the industry make good money.
I make incredible money. I get to webcam from home, or even if I go on holiday, sometimes I go to America, and I'll take the webcam and I'll webcam there for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then that'll cover all my spending money for the day and things like this. So I can literally take it anywhere with me and make money. And the money that you make is if you put the work. I think some people think, oh, it's going to be easy money, but it's not. It's just long hours. You need to put long hours in, but the financial rewards you get are nothing I could have ever dreamed of, to be honest.
But when you started, was it really what you expected to face? Was it like, okay, this is what I want to do and I'm going for it? Or maybe you were like, you had your doubts?
The minute I had set the profile up, I knew then and there, this is where my life was going to be. I wasn't sure how it was all going to pan out, but I knew this was where my life was going to be. Since then, even within the first 3-4 months, I knew it was the best decision that I'd ever made. I wouldn't change literally anything about it. I think I thought it would be a lot more it'd be a lot more difficult than it would be, but it's actually not, because not everybody that's coming on wants these kinds of big X-rated shows. There's a lot of people that want to come on and chat about things that maybe they couldn't chat about their partner with, and that kind of gets them the release. So a lot of the time you're listening to things that they really don't have anybody else to tell, and I wouldn't have thought that when I started out that was going to be a big part of it.
You create a bond with them, actually.
Yeah, it's like a safe space for them to talk about the most intimate and vulnerable things that they really don't have many people in their lives that they would be able to share that with without maybe being judged or things like this. Whereas when they come into my room, they can chat about it, get the release of it, and then they can go back to being who they were again when they're finished.
I actually found it interesting, right? Because people go there, they want to talk to someone, and you members there, you talk to them, like keep them company. But also something I would like to ask, because you mentioned before about streaming, about your streamings. So when you go for holidays, for example, to America, to Spain, whenever. Do you stream from there also?
Yeah, so I've streamed. I used to have a house in Spain, so I would always take my computer over and stream during the days. And we had a villa in Florida, and I would keep the computer upstairs, so I would hear it bing. I would be out the back sunbathing or relaxing, and then if I hear it bing, I'd have to run all the way back up the stairs to get it. So it kept me very fit as well. But yeah, in lots of different countries I've been to, I take it with me. So yeah, it's just another way. Whenever I go to Vegas, I'll take it 3 hours, a couple of hours work in the afternoon. That's you free for the rest of the day, and you've just made all your spending money. So yeah, it's amazing that way. It's
the freedom that you get, right?
Yeah, the freedom is
amazing.
I think I probably lost understanding of the freedom compared to what normal people have, just because I am so free. And then I see other people who are maybe doing office jobs and things, and I'm like, oh really? You have to do that? Like, yeah, I couldn't have someone telling me what you can do, when you can do, what days you're working, what time you're working, when you're going home. This is when you're having your Christmas holidays. No, thank you.
So when you started, what was the support? Did you have, because like say, there is some models maybe listen to this podcast right now and they're thinking, one of the reasons that's pushed me back to start in the adult industry is because of lack of support from friends or family and stuff like this. How was that process for you? Did you have supports there from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I am married, so yeah, my husband's been with me every step of the way.
Amazing.
They even have a couple's webcam as well. So I've had him, and he's much more techie than I am. I'm a bit rubbish when it comes to tech. So whenever the computer breaks, I just shout, technical assistance, and he'll run through and help me. I don't know what I'm doing, it's broke. See, I've had him there every step of the way. But on top of that, my mum and dad both know what I do for a living, because obviously it was quite a bit of a change from being in court and having this 9-to-5 job to having a very different lifestyle, and everyone's like, what's going on? So yeah, I told my mum and dad. They were really supportive. My husband, and I don't really have too many other people in my life. So for the longest time, it was just kind of the three of us. But last year, or the year before, I was down working in London, and I got a text message from another girl who works on AdultWork, and she added me to a group chat of all the other girls who do this job. And that, I mean, to think I went without all that help for 10 years is crazy, because the things that you can learn in the group chat of just everybody else who's been doing the job, you can't explain how beneficial that was. So yeah, I feel like I've got even more support now. So yeah, I have been really lucky in that.
That's very good. It's very good to hear. And within this time that you've been in the adult industry, is there anything that you like or really like, and anything that you dislike?
I absolutely. The reason I do my job is the financial security. That's the biggest, most important thing. Financial security and the freedom. Couldn't have another type of life that works perfectly for me. It's not just wealth for me, it's generational wealth for my children, because that's how much money you're talking about. It's allowed me opportunities in life that I would never, even as a lawyer, would never have achieved. Never in a million years, some of the things that I've achieved financially. There's things that I dislike. So, I wouldn't say so much. Sometimes the website can get frustrating because it glitches, or you have your profile taken down because you've put something wrong somewhere, and then it takes a little bit of time to get in touch with AdultWork. I think that's happened once or twice. And then for that day that it's down, or half a day, you worry, oh my gosh, this is my whole livelihood. What's going to happen? What's happened to it? That's a really stressful 12 hours when that happens. Got to say, in the past 6 months, I found them a bit quicker at getting back to you. But that's honestly the only thing that has ever bothered me about my job. You do have some people coming on who maybe get quite rude or aggressive if perhaps you won't talk about what they want to talk about. And then they'll maybe do the usual keyboard warrior and say something mean. But you have the function to throw anybody out your room that you want. So it's not that much of an issue. At first, you had to kind of build thick skin for that. After 12 years, you're used to it. Not everyone's going to like you. You lose a bit of your anonymity. You get recognised quite a lot. I don't think people are aware that my profile has had about 2.5 million hits. So sometimes trying to be a normal person is quite difficult. For instance, I was out shopping once with my son, and he's only little. And then I went home, and then I went onto webcam. Someone come on straight away saying, "Oh, I just seen you shopping in X," and like the shop. I was like, I was there with my child. Like, that's okay. Why would you think to mention that? There's been times when I've been recognised going onto planes, and then people will message you. I've been as someone sent a message and say, "Oh, were you staying at this hotel in such and such because I seen you there by the pool?" I've been out in clubs and had someone 2 or 3 seats back saying, "I see you, I'm going to come and sit with you." Just, that's definitely the hardest bit of the job. You're trying to do it with your face out, and stay anonymous is not going to happen. If you think about it, 2.5 million hits, and there's only just over 5 million in Scotland. So if you're looking for somewhat of a quiet life, or not to be recognised, that's not going to really happen. And I've had to kind of make my peace with that.
Okay, wow, that's an experience.
You realize if you stop and then you feel okay enough with yourself and you set your boundaries, I think you're all good.
Absolutely. It's not enough to put me off. I mean, it's just something you need to be aware of, that can happen. But then some girls don't show their face, so that will never happen for them. So it's because I show my face on webcam, that's where the difference comes in. So there is an option to not do that. But for sure, if you are going to do that, I would hate for someone to have shown their face, not thought about it properly, and then, like, within the first couple of months, had someone threaten to blackmail me on AdultWork and say, "I'm going to tell all your family who you are." I was like, well, feel free to send the profile, because they already know. So you do need to be quite strong about that, and it is a serious decision to make. It is going to change your life, and that bit of your life can have a negative impact if you haven't thought it through properly.
When you're performing, let's say, do you have to put a mask, you do a role play, or you are yourself every time?
I find it easier to be myself. Yeah, I would say I'm just exactly as I am right now, fulfilling their wishes, whatever that is, whether they want me to watch them, whether they want to have a conversation about things that they can't have, and then whether they want me to strip and do a little performance for them. I just find it easier to be me than have to pretend to be someone else all the time. I'd find that really quite exhausting. So I can see why some people like to keep it differently, but for me, I just find it easier to just be me.
Okay, what about all these years with webcam as well? What was the craziest request a client ever asked to you? Did you have any request, or everything is just normal?
No, I definitely have had some really, really strange requests, really downright disgusting requests. Oh, good Lord. Oh, this
Yeah, what was the weirdest one that you said, "Oh my God"?
At this point, I thought maybe I'm in the wrong job. I can't do this. I had a client on the webcam who asked if I would go and do a poop in a blender. Blend the poop up and then proceed to pour it over me.
No.
Funnily enough, I said no, because That's just too much for me.
That's when you put some boundaries. You said, okay, no way, this is not happening with me.
I said I don't have a blender at the minute. Come back next week. Oh,
Thank you,
too early in the morning for that nonsense. And then I've had clients. They've got one, if I ever go to like stay at a hotel for some reason, he just likes me to take the webcam around and show him the hotel. He just likes to see where I'm staying and see what the room looks like. And he's paying like £3 a minute to look at the hotel bed and the bed stands that are the bathroom. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay, fine.
And do you have clients that, for example, started 12 years ago with you, like that first person that was with you 12 years ago on the first time? Do you still have clients with you up to these days, like long-term clients?
There's only a couple. I feel that people come and go a lot given their situation. Some maybe then going to marriages and things like that. So the turnaround is quite a lot. But no, there's a couple, especially on my couples. So my husband, the account with my husband and I, we've got like a really long-standing person who comes in and we know everything about each other's lives. We're like friends, and then my husband and I will put on a little show for them. And then I've got a couple in mine who, one of them was actually the first to leave me, like 100 feedbacks, and then he waited till it was 200. So he always wanted to be the one that left like the big number of feedback. And I think I got to 1,000, and he's like, "I'm going to leave the 1,000." So yeah, there's a few who I've kind of still speak to over the years, but.
With the long-term ones, you create a connection, right? After a while.
Yeah, it's like they become like a friend as such. You know so much about them, but then there's been lots that I think is an expensive hobby for some men. So eventually when they go on and get, maybe some of them get wise or move on, that's maybe not what they can spend all their money on anymore, unfortunately. Bring your money back to me.
And in order to promote yourself, do you use a lot of socials? How do you promote yourself?
You know, that's the biggest thing I love about AdultWork is that you never really need to promote yourself. I think with AdultWork, they just kind of come searching for you. And that's what I did for the best part of 10 years. I didn't really have to do any social media or anything. Now I put something up about 6 months ago. So with the help of my husband, set up X and I mean, I don't even know the names of them. That's how rubbish I am at them. X and Insta. We set them up. And things like Telegram and things like this. So we've just got into that. But I feel like I'm so busy just on the AdultWork platform that I mean, the amount of people that have me on their hot list is silly. I was looking at it the other day. It's absolutely silly. So I'm in a position where I go on, I do my work, I turn my work off, and that is it. Okay. I don't need to be doing extra advertising. It's just, it's there. So
since you set up your social media accounts, did you find like any difference regarding the traffic that visit your profile? Or?
To be honest, no. I mean, they're still maybe in their infancy, so maybe in a while that might, but I mean, I've got, like I say, friends in the industry who have very big social media accounts, and I know that I'm busier than them without having them. I think if you put a lot of work into your AdultWork account and you have all the videos there and you have all the pictures there and you're updating that constantly, and then you're using the features in AdultWork, like, you can do like local escort search for cams and things like this. Embedding content creator of the day. When you do that, yes, you're paying money for it, but that's when you can really, that's when the traffic can go crazy on your profile. And all you need is that a couple of days, and then lots of people are coming on and adding your profile for maybe a later date. And I think that's far more superior kind of thing than any other social media work.
Okay. Do you create content as well to live on the platform, like as a passive income? Videos, image, do you like to do that as well? Do you focus on this, on the content creation as well?
Yes, I think there's over 1,000 videos from the past 12 years, and I think there's maybe about 2,000 pictures. So you can view the pictures. I think it's maybe like 3 credits for 24 hours. And there's days where you can be making like a normal brackets day's wage for someone else just on your content creation without even having to done any work.
Exactly.
So I'm sleeping, and sometimes I'll up and I'll made £70 from people just watching videos while I'm sleeping, before I've even had to do anything that day. And there's 12 years worth of videos on there. I'm like, I forgot I even made that video. It's amazing, so I'm always adding to them.
You literally make money while you're sleeping.
Literally.
I like to wake up and be like, right, what videos have you got? Because obviously when the men come in from the pub, that's what they'll go on to. And because I've got so much, it's really good. Even when I go on holiday and I don't turn the profile on, I can come back and know that I've still got like a little week's wage there from all these men watching these videos. And there's literally a choice for everyone. I've tried to cover everything and just add them to them. So yeah, that's a really big income boost.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing, because imagine sometimes you go for holidays or whatever, and you cannot maybe do your webcam sessions, but you can still get your money.
Exactly. You can, if I'm going on holiday with my family and like I have the children there or whatever, then I won't have the webcam. But what I'll do is I'll take a couple of new pictures every day and then I'll upload them. And even just doing that, then alerts everyone that's on your hot list. Oh, Ivy's posted new things, and then they'll go and pay for it all over again, just by taking a couple of pictures a day. You could, even just that little bit of 10 minutes work makes a big difference for you over the 2 weeks.
A very good pro tip. Now, if there's a model listening to us now, this is a very good pro tip. Using the content creation, like images and videos to upload and leave there for you.
Absolutely.
Towards the end of the show, we normally have some questions. We call ping point questions. So we have about 20 questions we're gonna ask you, and as an adult talk, I'm gonna start with 5 questions, and then Aurora have the other 15 questions there. First questions is hand job or blow job?
Blow job, all day.
Dog style, 69 or missionary?
Doggy.
Group sex like orgy or one-to-one?
Both. Both at different times. It's a hard one.
Okay. Masturbation, solo or together with someone around?
Together.
And sex, morning or night?
Night.
All right. Aurora.
Amazing. Let's go to the part 2. And the first question is, describe yourself with just one word.
Oh my gosh, that's hard. What's one word? I'd say quirky.
Okay, second one. What's your ultimate turn on?
Watching my husband fuck other women.
Okay, third one. Kissing or cuddling?
Cuddling.
What's your secret weapon to seduce someone?
My mouth.
What's one thing on your bucket list?
I have done everything on my bucket list. My husband and I have had a lot of fun.
You should have been proud of
Everything is
yourself.
ticked off. We are. High five us.
We definitely should do a podcast with both of you together at some point in the future.
Oh, you definitely.
We arrange a new podcast and do both of you together.
That sounds great. Yeah, he'll be very good at this. He's better at this than me.
Yeah, we would love to have this duo on camera.
Definitely.
Okay, next question is, if you could meet and create content with a celebrity, who would that be?
Well, Vin Diesel, but I don't think he's up for making content. But if he is, he can give me a shout.
Might be listening to this podcast now.
You never know.
Hit me up, Vin.
What's the last thing you Googled?
Actually, it was the football scores yesterday.
Also, you're into football.
Yeah, into football, Formula One and wrestling. So last night, checked all the football scores before I went to bed.
Wow.
Which football team do you support?
I am Celtic, my husband's Rangers, so it's a fun house.
Oh, so it's a fun house, exactly what I was going to say.
We did have a very big match. We've done well. We've got the other leg coming on a Wednesday.
Celtic managed to keep themselves alive with that goal.
They really did. They really did. They did amazing, actually. Normally our European performances aren't the best, but I'll wait on Wednesday. I'll definitely not be on webcam on Wednesday night because I'll be watching the football, so don't be looking for me.
You're not people out there.
No worries, but you can join, you can go to her profile because the videos and images are going to be there.
Exactly.
Keep yourself on mute for 2 hours. I'll be back.
Oh, and if you're watching this podcast right now, if you are on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, become part of the family here. And if you are on Spotify, follow us on Spotify so you are always ahead of somebody else who are not following us, and you can watch the episode firsthand.
Show some love, guys. So next question is, what's your ultimate... Have I made that one? What's your ultimate fantasy?
Like that part of the bucket list, my ultimate fantasy, I think, was always watching my husband with another girl. But I've done that. We've had lots of fun with threesomes and foursomes, and sex clubs and things like this. So yeah, we've had a wild sex life.
Our next one. What's the weirdest place or even situation you've ever had sex?
The weirdest. I mean, I've had sex in lots of places. The fun was probably in Mile High Club. But my husband worked with the airlines, so it was Mile High Club with a member of the staff. That was pretty cool.
You took your risks.
We did. Luckily, it was his last flight.
And on to the last one. If you win 1 million today, what's the very first thing you would buy?
If I won 1 million, what is the first thing I would buy? It would probably be some Roblox vouchers for my son. That's probably what I would buy to keep him happy first. If he's happy, I'm happy. So Roblox vouchers, and I would just take a week off work and we would just chill in bed and watch movies. So I wouldn't spend all the money. I'm very money savvy, but yeah, he can get Roblox vouchers and he would be a happy little boy.
All right. Before we go, we'd like for you to leave us a message to anybody listening to you right now. Maybe it's a model wanting to start in the webcam industry. Maybe it's a model who is already there and look up to you in order to carry on their career. So I'd like for you to leave a message for our listeners, and also where people can find you. You can give your socials.
Okay, so thank you for listening. Thanks for listening to me rambling on. It's been lots of fun. For any girls who are contemplating doing this job, I would say follow your heart. I'd also say reach out to other girls. We're really helpful, and having someone help you along the way is going to make life a lot more easy for you. I'll put in my profile, and if you need help, send me an email. It literally is life-changing, and you just need some good people around about you to help you with the little hints and tips. Anybody that wants to check my profile out, it is Scottish Ivy. It's on AdultWork.com. And for X and Twitter, or what is it? See, I don't even know. This is how much I need my husband to do this bit. Scottish Ivy on AdultWork, and then Scottish Babe Ivy on everything else. You'll be able to find me on everything else.
Yeah, you will be able to find those links of X account and AdultWork account here on the description of this video, or if you are on Spotify, it will be in the description of the video as well. I thank you so much. It was beautiful to have you here. It was a very nice conversation with you. We must arrange another podcast, and can be you and your husband to tell more stories about you guys. That would be amazing. Aurora, thank you so much to be here with me on this podcast today. Beautiful, beautiful. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Juan, for hosting today's episode. And thank you, Ivy, for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was such good fun. And I can't wait to get my husband in the next one because he's got a better memory. He'll tell you better stories.
Definitely.
We look forward to seeing you again.
We're going to arrange. Thank you so much. And if you are listening by, remember, smash the like button. We'll see you next time. Ciao!
Adult Talk, a podcast by AdultWork.